Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Beverly, and for those of you returning, thank you guys so much for joining me today. As you guys already seen by the title down here, it's going to be based off how I created my website. I get a lot of people ask me on how I created my website, and you know what, I decided to go ahead and dedicate a whole video to this. So if you're interested and want to get all those little tips and everything, go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so I'm kind of annoyed because I had all my notes written down on my computer here, and for some reason my notes won't kind of come up. I'm gonna have to go based off of what I remember that I was writing on here. I hope I don't miss anything. If I do, you might see clips here or there come in. I'm sorry about that. I wanted this to be more better planned, but you know, it is what it is at this point. Okay, so let me go ahead and give you guys a little backstory onto why I created my website. The reason I created my website was because I was getting over flooded with DMs on Instagram on the daily, sometimes by the hour, and I just felt so overwhelmed with me trying to work, make inventory, do this, do that, do this, and not being able to respond to customers in a timely manner. Sometimes it would be hours before I would be able to get to the messages, so I decided to go for it. Once I started investigating, there's like different websites, you guys. There's a difference between having your own website, and there is a difference between selling your items through a platform. For example, there's like Etsy, there's like all these little crafting websites, Amazon Handmade, there is Mercari, there is Poshmark. There's so many different like type of apps or websites that you can basically sell your items through. For the most part, they don't charge you any monthly fees. It's easy, it's free to sign up. You just go ahead and list your items and boom. The downside on that is that they do take a part of like the commission for each sale that you make, and it works differently. The versus having your own website, you pay a monthly fee, there's no other fees involved, and you're basically good. You're your own independent website. So with that being said, I decided to go with creating my own website. I have heard lots of pros and cons with Etsy. I actually will link an article down below on just pros and cons, so if you want to see that, go check it out. That article was probably one of the articles that made me like think, okay, you know what, I think it's time, and I think I'm ready just to go ahead and jump to having my own website. I know there's people out there, and you might have been one if you're already a business owner, that you went ahead and created an Etsy, and as time went by, you went ahead and just said, you know what, I'm ready to go on my feet, whatever the case might be for you, and you jumped to having your own website now. Or you might be a beginner not knowing what to do. So I would suggest you reading the article down below or any other articles you can find online, basing the differences, that way you know. So that's how it started, like I mentioned to you guys, and now I went ahead and chose for your own independent websites. There's several different ones that you can choose from. There's like GoDaddy, there is Square, there is Wix, there is Shopify, there's a lot more. Honestly, you really just have to do your research. If you're wanting to go with your own independent site, you just have to go to e-commerce websites, that's what basically they're called, and then you'll find the right one for you. Let me tell you about the one that I chose and why I chose it. So I chose Shopify because I heard very good things about it. I would hear good reviews on it, the pros that you can do with it, way before I even was a business owner myself. And I would buy off of websites and they look so professional, and you couldn't even tell that they were going based off Shopify. That's what kind of drew my attention, okay? And then my sister was the one that first registered her business, and she decided to make a website, and she already off the bat knew that's what she wanted to do. I helped her set it up. I seen how it was. It wasn't the easiest, I'm not gonna say, but it was very convenient for her. And whenever I was jumping online next to go ahead and register my business, I automatically knew what website I was going to go for. The things that I like with Shopify is that you can really much play around. You can design your own websites. Yes, sometimes there is codes that get a little confusing, I'm not going to lie, here and there. To try to edit something, there's codes. If you don't know what that means, again, look it up. I will show you guys some part of the process on how I set up my websites. There's free templates you can use, so you don't necessarily have to buy one, especially if you're a beginner and you just want to see and you want to get your feel for it. I would definitely choose from one of their free templates, and just don't rush into buying something unless you know off the bat, this is what I want to do, and you know that you are from the get-go going to invest in your business and just go for it, then do it. I support it 100%. Sometimes I wish that I honestly just had more money and I was able to go in full force from the beginning. I honestly want to say I feel like my business would be more successful than it is right now. I'm not gonna lie about that. So I've changed my way of thinking in some ways, yes, but I still wish sometimes that I had a little bit more money at the beginning to invest more in my items, just so, you know, it gives it more of a good, better, professional look on things. But just because of that reason, like I said, free templates, probably good ones to start with. Other than you being able to choose from free templates, you can also mess around with other things. Some other things I liked about Shopify was that you're able to see your live view on how many customers are on your website. You're able to see the maps from all over the world and see where are they at. You'll see like these little pins, and you'll be able to see where your customers are watching from, where they're looking at your stuff. Like, it is really cool just to see that. Like, the minute that I had people on my website, like, my heart, oh my god, like, it feels so good. You know why? Because you know you're doing something right. Like, they're on your website for a reason. So I like the live view. I like the way also that you have analytics, and I'm pretty sure other websites have this. I honestly have not seen as much as I do from Shopify. Like, if you go onto YouTube now and you go look, most of the time that you're looking at somebody showing you how they created their website, showing or talking about their business, about sales, about how much they're making, for some reason the Shopify videos come up first than anything. So that's just hints to you that if you want to really look into this, you have the resources right here on YouTube. You guys are able to go check them out and see what's best for you. I just think that Shopify is very, very good e-commerce website for you guys. So if you guys are wanting to go solos, go Shopify. One last thing I forgot to mention to you guys is that you're also able to do like your own little marketing campaigns, and by that I mean send out customers newsletters, any new releases, any launches, any sales, any discount codes, whatever, any like actual newsletters from you going out to the public, anything you want to announce. You're able to do that through a campaign. You guys literally are able to create your own. There's templates as well, or you can use a blank one. You're able to customize it and then send it out to the customers. The great thing about it is that a certain amount of those emails going out to your customers each month are free. So if you don't go past the number that they say, literally you guys can send out free newsletter emails every month, every 2 weeks, however you guys want, depending on obviously how many people you have subscribed to your newsletter. But for the most part, I've never had to pay not 1 cent out of my pocket to send out newsletters. And let me tell you guys, you can also see the analytics on those to see how many people are actually clicking on your email, going to your website, and better yet, purchasing from your website. So yes, you do get the analytics and everything. Just as you can see here, you're able to see how much the customers are actually spending through your campaign that you sent, and that should be a proof to yourself as a business owner that you're doing something correctly. And that is also part of promotion, let me just say. Any other basic features that any other website automatically does is send you an invoice. It creates a shipping label for you. So those are other things that you just want to keep in mind when creating a website. It simplifies that for you, and you're able to automatically have an invoice and a shipping label, and you don't have to go in manually. You don't have to use those third-party sites to go ahead and make your own shipping label, put your card info, pay for the shipping label, and all that jazz. Like, no mess up. Literally the amount of time you save yourself and money by doing this is awesome. Okay, you guys, so enough of me blabbering off about how much I love Shopify, because I truly do. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into a little screen recording process onto how I actually went in and created my website. Before we do start, I want to mention that from what I know, you do have to have your business registered, and this is one of the reasons why I registered my business. If you didn't see my last video on my business talk edition on how I registered my business, this was for sure definitely one of the reasons why I went ahead and just did it. So yes, from what I know, you do need to have your federal tax ID number, and you should obviously be registered through your state so you can have your name official and everything like that. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I already have Google pulled up, and I just go ahead and click Shopify. Just search it up. You will see that it will come up shopify.com, start a business, grow your business, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead and click there. First things first, you want to go ahead and look at the pricing. Like I'm showing you guys, you can set up your store, pick a plan later, try Shopify free for 14 days, no credit card required, which is true. You have 3 different plans: basic Shopify, Shopify, and advanced Shopify, you guys. There is different rates. I am using the $29 a month Shopify, which is the basic plan. And then you just really want to go through all of these, just kind of see what's best for you, what you prefer. Just read through everything. Also, you are able to have a storefront and use Shopify as your platform to charge customers in store. That's also a great perk. It's called point of sale. Pretty much after you look over the plan, to go ahead and start your free trial. I'm just using an old email just for the purpose of this video. It's just an example. You want to go ahead and enter a password and then your store name, which for my store name, I just put Invitations by Sam. Again, just for an example, since I can't really show you how I built mine since it's already been done. Go ahead and do so, and then you want to go ahead and choose Create Your Store. Then you're going to get this: sit tight, we're creating your store. Okay, Shopify. Basically, go ahead and wait. It says, tell us a little bit about yourself. If you are already selling, just go ahead and choose what relates to you and your business. I think I went ahead and just said I was playing around. You want to see what your current revenue is. If you're barely starting, I'm sorry, you would just put 0. And I hit handcrafts because that's kind of the example that we're going for. And then I hit next. Here you're going to fill out first, last name, address, email, phone number, all of that good stuff, and then hit enter my store. Once you enter your store, this is basically going to be what you're going to see. You're just going to show all these stuff, and then you can go ahead and add a product. You have home orders. I mean, you have basically everything on the side there, but we're going to go ahead and start with adding a product to the store. Once you go to add a product, you're going to go ahead and add your title. I'm just going to do it as keychain, just something simple. Obviously, you guys are going to relate it to whatever you guys are selling. And then make sure that the status of it, the product status, is active. If it's not active, it's not going to show as something valid on your website. It's going to show as a draft and not as an active listing. Go ahead and put in your description. Again, I'm just making stuff up as we're going. I'm going to say, check out our newest addition to our bunny keychain. Remember, when you guys are writing a description, you guys want to make it catchy. You guys want to make it your own. Definitely don't copy. You can put all details as shown in picture, or you can write out the details as you please. You will go ahead and add your image. So here I'm adding the file, just looking for one in my computer. And I'm just going to put a random agua fresca keychain, which obviously we know is not a bunny keychain, but you know, you get the point. Once your image has been added, you're going to move on to the next section down, which is pricing. You want to go ahead and list your pricing as what you choose. Remember, anytime you are listing any of your items, you have to make sure you're making double of what you're doing, or at least that's what I suggest. So make sure you're making a profit. Compared to price is just when you're having a sale and you want to make sure they can see the sale price versus the original price. So I usually leave that blank, and then how much each item is costing you. Like it says, customers won't be able to see it, but it will just help you know how much you're making of profit, so you can calculate it. You want to make sure your charge tax on this product is on, just so for tax purposes, you're charging people taxes, and that way you're putting that aside. Here you have quantity, make sure you put that, and then what the weight of your actual physical product is. You need to make sure you're listing that because it's very important when it comes to shipping time, it's going to calculate it based off the weight of the item. So make sure you're putting that in. If you have any variants such as color, size, whatever you're selling, go ahead and do so. For example, mine, I put pink drink and I put watermelon drink and so on. Just a reminder, once you are done adding your variants, you have to go back down and adjust the quantities of each one. If not, they're not going to be even. So for example, if I'm wanting to do, let's say 1, 2 of each, you have to go back and make sure that your quantity is 3. So you're saying you have 2 pink drinks and then 1 watermelon drink. Just hit save and then you are going to see your listing. If you go to go use that back button, and then here it shows you have 3 in stock for 2 variants, and it's showing the vendor, which is you, and it shows your first listing. So that, you guys, is how you make a listing on Shopify. Now moving on to the more juicier part, you get to actually start customizing your website. So which it's your online store, like it shows on your left bottom corner. It automatically already comes with the current theme. It's called Debut. You can customize that to your liking. There's other free themes that you can choose from as well. Normally the first one that populates is the one that you can go for, or you can see free themes and choose from there. You have the Simple, Boundless, Venture, Debut, the one that's currently there, Supply, Narrative, Brooklyn, Minimal, Express. So these are just the few that are free. Once you do go ahead and choose one, you want to start customizing. So you can just close it and then go back to the one that's already there and hit customize. Once you are there already, you're going to see this is how it's going to appear. Super plain, super simple. It just has all these little image with text overlays that are blank and empty. You go ahead and hit header. You can align it to center, to the left for your logo. You can upload free images, use theirs, or you can go ahead and upload your own. I would recommend taking your own pictures just so people are seeing your own products, your own logo and everything. For example, that's what I'm using there, is where your logo should go, but we're just using that as an example. You can center it, you can left it, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. It's just really up to you. Now for those fancy announcement text bars that you see on people's websites that say free shipping over 100, or you can announce something like your turnaround time like I have. Just if your website that you're going through offers that, you can go ahead and put a message there. And not only does it have to show on the home page, you can have it show all over your website as they're clicking through different sections, just so they're updated. You can change the color of the line, the text, you can do all that. Make sure after you are done choosing all those little things, go ahead and hit save where it says live view on the top right. If not, all your hard work is not going to be saving. Like I messed up at the beginning, so make sure you're always clicking that after you edit something new. Now you can go back to the home page, and then there's this spot where it says image with text overlay. You can just go ahead and put in any picture that you like. It can be more of a background picture, and it can be more focused on what you want it to say. That way they can see it saying, like, you know, for example, I'm doing invitations by Sam, and I would be able to have, you know, invitation pictures in the background, or just whatever. Or you can show off a product and kind of talk about it. But I feel like this, since it's the home page and it's the first thing you're seeing, I pretty much want it to be like a welcome to, invites by Sam type thing. And then you're able to adjust sizing, the width, layout, and all of that. Like you can make your font bold, you can make it not bold, you can put in a link so when customers are seeing that, they can automatically jump into a certain space in your website. It's just really up to you. Like I said, all of this is customizable. Here next, you are able to go down to more sections, or you can hide sections such as the testimonials, another featured collection. You are able to add more products so people can see on your homepage. You can go back. Like I said, you can hide them just by clicking off that little eye like I'm doing now. There's just so much you guys can do. You guys just really much have to play around with it and see the layout that you guys want for your page. For the next part, I go under theme settings and go to colors, and you can pretty much, again, fiddle around with the colors. I thought this was interesting because it took me a while to find out how to have a full background color on the whole thing. So this is where you want to go. You can mess around. I'm just choosing crazy colors just so you guys can see. There's like this little color wheel, and you guys are able to change it. Go crazy with it, basically. Remember, there is different sections, like the bottom part and everything. The checkout, you can change background images, so on and so forth. Add your logo, so when customers are checking out, they're able to see that. It looks a little bit more professional. You can get out of theme settings, go to collection pages. I mean, again, the possibilities are endless. I'm hoping you guys get the point. Make sure you guys are saving, because if not, you'll get this message. It's on the top right hand corner. After they are changed, you are able to get back into what you see as your Shopify platform, like this. Now we're just going to be jumping around. I'm going to go to settings and then general. There on general, you're basically going to see all your information, the store name. Once you have all your information for like your legal business, you can go ahead and put your LLC name and everything. Change your store currency in case you're in a different country, or if you're in the US, leave it as is. I'm going to the orders tabs just so you see you don't have any orders yet. Abandoned checkouts. This is when somebody is putting stuff in their cart and they end up abandoning and don't actually check out. You can go to analytics, see the overview of how your business is doing. You can change it from month to date. You can change it day per day to see. You can do live view. This is where I was talking about at the beginning, where you're able to see where people are watching, looking at your website throughout the world, throughout your country. And then you can go to discounts, overview, marketing. Here, this is where you create your campaign for your ads. Here it's going to tell you have 2,500 emails to start. For the month, you are able to choose from all of these templates. Like I said, you can promote your sales, you can promote announcements due to whatever changes are going on to your business and such. So you basically have a free range. Now moving on to discounts, this is where you can manually create a discount code for your followers or for somebody in specific. If you want them to have a discount code for their followers because they're referring people over to you, you can do so. I'm just doing this crazy example, winter 1, 2, 3, 4. You can calculate it as a percentage or a fixed amount. You have to put the discount amount. If you don't want any requirements on them, you don't have to. It can be for everyone. You can limit them per customer, or you can limit the amount they are used. It just depends on when you want to start and what time. Obviously, before you go ahead and continue, it's going to have you enter the number of times the discount can be used per customer. So it's 1. The cool thing that Shopify will track all of that to make sure that they're not using it more than once if that's not what you want it to do. Also here, you're able to add a domain, you're able to buy it. So if you don't want to buy one, it's fine. Like it shows here, you can use the one that Shopify is providing you with, and it says connected and when you added it, or you can go ahead and buy one, which I feel like it makes it a little bit more creative, more you, and more professional. I'm just typing in www.invitesbybevs.com, and it tells you automatically how much it's going to charge you a year. Honestly, for $14, you guys, that it's not bad. For my personal one, invitesbybevs.com, I went ahead and did that and just purchased it for the full year, and you go ahead and buy it. For this next part, I'm going to show you how to create a collection. You just go under collections, create a new one, and just put in the title of what you want your specific items to be under. This just helps categorize your items when they're on your website, just so customers are able to look at them and they're not just all open all over the place where they have to search through each item. They actually will be under a category. So you can go ahead and do a quick little description, and then I just hit manual just because you're manually adding it. You can even add an image to the collection if you'd want, and then go ahead and save. If you don't add an image, then the first the item that you add, that will be the basically image for the keychain tab. Okay, you guys, for this next section, we're going to talk about pages and what exactly pages is. First, you're going to go ahead and add a page. You want to go ahead and put a title down. It basically is just showing the breakdown of like contact us and like the different tabs at the top. That's basically what it is. So you want to go ahead and put your title, which in my case it's contact us. I'm going ahead and just put for any customer service related questions or issues or whatever, you can contact us at such and such email. That's basically the tab that I want to have at the very top. You can always do an about us, a contact us, policies, and blah blah blah, shipping times. Basically any tab that you want at the top of your website. Sometimes they have them on the side, at the top. It just depends. In this version, we're going to go ahead and do the top. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and show. So once you save it, you want to then go to navigations, go to main menu. Remember, you have to do the step to add it so it can show at the top, because you can have the tab added, but it won't show at the top of your website until you do this next step. It's a little confusing, I understand. So again, I put about us, and then we're going to go to pages because we want to insert that page that we created for contact us. I know it doesn't make sense, but I'm just trying to set an example here. You'll go ahead and add it. Once you go ahead and add it, then you want to choose collections. And this is just showing you a different step for like catalog. So at the top where you see catalog, you want all the collections to show. So that's another one that I was adding as well. Here I'm going back to the website and I'm going to go ahead and hit customize. And then as you see here at the top, now you'll have home, catalog, and about us. Once we hit catalog, now all of the products are not just scattered everywhere. You actually have them into collections, so they're actually divided, which it looks much cleaner than just opening up and then having every item listed on your website just all over the place. As you see, also you can hit keychains and then you'll see the keychains. You can hit about us and then you'll have the contact us information. So that's basically what I was talking about. Also on my website, which is real life, you guys are able to see the breakdown of all the tabs that I have at the top. Here is just, I'm showing you how to subscribe to a newsletter. So when you're telling your customers to subscribe, basically you want them to fill out their email at the bottom, subscribe, and then they just have to verify. And then it says thank you for subscribing, which once they do subscribe, you guys, this means that anytime you guys want to send out a newsletter, which we talked about it earlier on, when you're creating a newsletter, they will receive it. So any customer that is subscribed, they will receive it. And you can go to your customers tab. You will see how many customers are subscribed and you will have their information such as their email and everything and when they subscribed and everything. So you will have that on file. Now just going through, I'm just showing you guys these little basic tabs. You have navigation, blog post, themes, which themes again is just themes on your website and everything. I'm just basically going through this as well. You have legal, billing, location, sales, taxes, shipping and delivery, checkout, payments, and general. These are just your basic settings that you might just want to check out and see. To set up your payments, because remember, once you start getting paid from Shopify, you want to make sure to set this up, or else you're not going to start getting paid until you do so. It's just basically saying the forms that you're accepting all of these different cards. You can view your payouts I believe it's every 2 days, or just depending on when you have sales, it'll start paying you out. So you do want to make sure that is. Also, if you want to have PayPal connected, make sure you have it activated. Little thing on PayPal is that sometimes it takes about 21 days for them to verify you. Make sure you're not fraudulent, you're not scamming your customers, your customers are not scamming you. So your money will get to you. It just takes a while sometimes. Moving on to kind of the final steps, you want to complete and set up the remaining of your account. It's going to ask you for your account, your business details, such as an LLC or however you registered your business. I normally do LLC because that's what my business is registered under. I would put your legal name. Remember, you have to include LLC or whatever's at the end. You want to add your ITIN number, which is your business. You want to add or a social security number, I believe, if you're doing sole proprietorship. Here you just want to fill out all these details. You want to go ahead and put your banking information such as routing and account number. That applies to if you have a business account or if you're using your own personal account to start off with, that's fine. I'm going back to home. Just basically you need to verify your email. Make sure that you are using a business email just because, you know, this is your business going. You want to have everything set aside to be more professional. So yeah. So like you guys saw, that's basically the process on setting up your business. Let me talk to you guys now about some issues that I've had and just some tips and tricks that I really want you guys to pay attention if you guys decide to go with Shopify. Just some things you guys want to really pay attention to. The first thing that I realized eventually is that when you have your Shopify account and when you have customers paying for their orders and shipping, you want to make sure first you're charging them the correct amount as far as the shipping goes, because let me tell you, Shopify tried to play me. Why, you may ask? Because apparently, which I didn't know and I would have wanted to find out, but either I didn't do my research or I don't know what the hell. Apparently the shipping method and everything, like all the shipping rates are default. What does default mean in this case, you ask? It means that Shopify has these determined rates stating that, for example, I think one was, before I changed it, that if the customer spent more than $50, they got free shipping. That if anything between this and this amount of weight was going to be just set at this price, which was like $4 something, almost $5, and if they weighed more between this to this, it was going to be this. So basically they just had them set to their generic rates instead of actually going based off of what the post offices charge and like UPS or FedEx charges, for example. So I figured that out pretty late. I want to say maybe it was a month into me shipping. I would get things here and there from customers saying, oh wow, your shipping is kind of pricey, oh, like, you know, this and this about shipping. And I would just hear hints here and there, and that just kind of made me want to look into the shipping rates more. So obviously there is a way that you can change it, and if you're interested in knowing, I'm going to go ahead and just start screen recording right now as I'm talking, just so you guys can see the process on how I did it and all of that. So first of all, you want to go ahead and go into your settings. Once you go to settings, you go to here where it says shipping and delivery. So obviously you're going to go ahead and come to this page where it says shipping and delivery. It shows your methods for domestic and rest of the world. You're going to go ahead and click there, manage rates. Once you go down, you're going to make sure you're going to go on this page where it says shipping from, and then it has your address. And as you see here, it just shows expedited, and it says expedited 1 through 5 pounds is 9.90. So this is what I mean. Your rates, that's what Shopify automatically set up, which obviously you don't want to go by these unless the customer chooses this at checkout. They have the option because it's there, but you mainly want to make sure that you're under carrier and app rates such as USPS, and you'll see that next to it you'll have 3 services, and most likely that's what's going to go based off the weight of the package. It's going to give the customer that option, and most of the time the customer will end up choosing either, for my example, in my case, it's going to show first class package, priority mail, express. And then if they're in a different part of the world, they'll get the other options for obviously still USPS or the DHL. So on this part, as you guys can see, you guys see the USPS discounted rates from Shopify shipping. These are the options that you will obviously want to have on there. If you don't have any of the options for USPS or any other carrier, you're automatically going to have the Shopify rates, which I would say in this case is probably not the best option because they're going to be more expensive and they're not going to be as accurate as your customer having the rates from the actual USPS. So I definitely recommend, once you open up your website, first thing you want to do before you start selling anything, and once your website is active and you're ready, go ahead and go to shipping and delivery, fix that up so you're having the USPS rates and not Shopify rates, because those are default rates that are automatically there. You'll notice as you start going that something's going to be off. There will be times where a customer probably buys a cup and it's super heavy and they are either paying not enough shipping or way too much shipping for that item. Or it can be a small item and they're paying way too much and you're like, what is going on? So you guys really need to pay attention to that. So that was one thing that I really didn't like when I started Shopify. I'm not saying it's a huge thing because it's able to be changed, but it was kind of annoying how you going into this, you didn't expect it to do that. You expected it to automatically go based off the USPS rates. I know in some instance people have told me, and I have seen obviously through YouTube or whatever, I've seen people use and connect their Shopify account through Pirate Ship, and you're able to either get cheaper rates or just print out and have more methods of printing out shipping labels and all of this other stuff. I haven't gotten there yet. I feel like as time goes by, I am getting to know how to work this. So I'm just giving you guys my insight, my tips, my experience on how that went for me. Another thing that I didn't like, and I still to this day do not like about the whole Shopify thing, and I don't know if there's a way that this can be fixed. So if there is, let me know in the comments down below, but I don't know. Another thing that I would say that I dislike about the Shopify, and these have to be like mainly the only two, is that whenever a customer pays for shipping, they don't automatically deduct it from that sale. So for example, and this is just an example because I'm not sure exactly how like other websites work or Etsy works. I'm assuming when Etsy gets a product, they take their commission, they take the shipping, and then they just give you whatever's left, and boom, that's your money, is your money. Well, with Shopify, I've had the experiences, and I've had somebody actually on TikTok tell me, hey, how does that work? Like, what website do you have? Because they went through the same thing. So basically the thing is, for example, you're selling all of this, right? Let's say you made $500, $600 a week or whatever off just selling product. And then you all of a sudden have them deducting $200 from your bank account, and you're like, hold the hell up, where are you taking my money? Well, little do you know that it wasn't your money to begin with, and they still deposited into your account. Why? I don't know. Can this be fixed? I'm hoping. So basically, yeah, the shipping goes automatically to you, the whole transaction goes to you, and then they come back and swipe it away, so it feels like they're taking your money. But again, from what I know, I get charged on the weekly basis depending on how many products I'm sending out. The more you sell, the more shipping you will get taken out. There's been instances like I am now doing, because I'm shipping out a lot on a weekly basis. On the weekly basis, I'm getting deducted about $200 and something. There was a week that was pretty slow that I only got taken away like $70-ish. But just beware that this is a little downside on that. Unless it's something that can be fixed, then great. We'll have to see. And if there is, I will update you guys as well. Hey you guys, it's Beverly in the future now. I'm editing this video still. It's been a couple weeks. I'm so sorry. But I have contacted Shopify since then. I chatted with their customer service, and they basically told me that there is a threshold set on our accounts. I guess everyone's Shopify account is different. If you're a Shopify owner and this is your situation, comment down below, just let me know. But they said that my threshold was set at $200. So that meant anytime that my shipping cost hit the $200 threshold mark, they would automatically deduct. And they're saying that based off my sales, they automatically, it's almost like on a weekly basis from what they've seen. Sometimes it's a little bit longer, but it still feels to me like a week, honestly. They said that they are able to change the threshold amount to a lower amount, but then that would mean that anytime, let's say for example, I would hit $100 in shipping, which sometimes it's not a lot. It can be just maybe 10, 15 orders. They would automatically deduct the 100. So it's like they're going to be withdrawing even more times a week rather than like once a week. So I decided to leave it at 200, the threshold, because I didn't want to mess with that anymore. I didn't want to have issues. I didn't want them to feel like they were deducting any more or many more times a week. So I figured that out. I have had people ask me about that because they are Shopify owners on TikTok. So I'm just letting you know it's a threshold. It's normal. It feels like it's given to you and then taken, but honestly, that's the process. And they also said there is no way of them changing it or no way of them taking it out automatically. It was a process, and this was a process. So this is just me updating you guys. So starting off, you're on your main screen here of your website. As you see, you have the option down here on the bottom left-hand corner. Go to settings. Once you go to settings, you want to go to billing. You're going to scroll down and you're going to see your current billing cycle. It says January 17th through February 16th of 2021. And it's going to show your subscription charge and the shipping fees that you have so far. So basically, once this reaches the threshold of 200, that's when you'll get charged. So this is what we're at right now. Mine, as you can see, we're at $61.26. But in the past, the threshold fees are showing as about 200 each time. So that's what I'm talking about, you guys. And this is where you guys can look up your threshold and when you will reach it, so you are prepared when the money comes out of your account. This is where you can go check it out. Remember, it's settings and then billing, and then you get this. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to touch on were apps. There are apps that you can use for your website. You basically sync them into Shopify, and that's how you're able to use them. There is one that you can use to customize your invoices because Shopify just gives you very generic invoices. There's another one to send out like newsletters and do much more to your customers, all of that. There's another one like Sezzle if you're wanting your customers to get a good deal at checkout and get stuff like in 4 interest-free payments. There is geolocation, which allows you to add to your website. So if customers are wanting to check out or check their currency to see how much it's going to be in their type of currency, you're able to see all of that. You can add the Shopify emails. There's just so many that you guys can add, and they're very, very cool, and they're for free. The recent one that I added was the route shipping protection, which allows their customers to pay 99 cents and to get protection on their package in case it gets lost or damaged or stolen. I don't normally replace anything if it's lost or stolen because to me, I did my part. I sent it out. I sometimes, depending on the situation, I'll work with customers if it's damaged. But now that I have this, for the most part, if this were to happen, like lost or stolen packages and they paid the protection, they would just make a claim and they most likely will either get their money back so they can repurchase or something of that nature will work out on their end. So it's always good to check out different apps that will benefit your website and your customers as well. You can do all this by getting on your homepage of Shopify. On the left bottom corner, it's going to show apps. You go on there and you can just research them. If there's something specific that you want to do for your website but don't know how to do it, I normally Google it, YouTube it, and just go from there. And most likely, if it's something that Shopify doesn't offer, it's an app that you can add to Shopify so you can offer for your customers. So that is very, very helpful. Hey, me again. So I wanted to quickly jump in and talk about some other stuff that I forgot to mention in the video. And this topic is on policies, procedures, shipping timeframes, and all of that. A lot of websites now, they have a tab at the bottom or at the top, just like I mentioned. And they basically have shipping policies and procedures if anything were to be lost, stolen, or damaged. Like I said, Root is a really good app to have. That way you can take care of anything, just basically saying that you're not responsible. Just want to really list out your policies page somewhere on your website so you can refer your customers to if they have any issues, questions, or if they have any complaints about things, just basically breaking it down that you're not responsible, or shipping timeframes as well. So just any shipping or policies, I also recommend you guys adding to your websites, especially if you guys are beginners. That way it just covers you in case of any of those were to happen. And the next one that I forgot to mention is the default package that comes up sometimes when you are shipping your items. When I started Shopify, basically just generated a random box that I didn't even know what box that was. They had like default packages again. So you want to make sure whenever you are setting up your Shopify store, you're putting in your own packages, the ones that you plan to use for your items. That way, whenever a customer is getting charged a certain item, it's also weighing it based off the box that it will be going into or the poly mailer it will be going into. So just make sure that stuff is fixed up before you officially start selling. And I will show you an example now. Okay, you guys, so starting off, you want to go ahead and go to the bottom left corner to settings. And this is where I'm going to show you how to check your packaging, making sure you have your packages set and not the default ones. Then you want to go ahead to shipping and delivery. Once you go to shipping and delivery, you want to go ahead and head down to this part at the bottom where it says packages. As you see here, these are all the saved packages that I have set for my shop. Like I have the 4x8 bubble mailer, 6x10, and so on. I have my Uline craft boxes, which are 10x4x4 set as my default. So that way it's calculating everything accordingly. The biggest items that I have at the moment, I would say, or the heaviest maybe, are t-shirts and cups, but they would still fit into a box like this, which is a 10x4x4. So I have this set as a default. Before, I think what they had set as a default was a different smaller package, and that's what was added and shown as default. So when customers would purchase cups that were heavier, they were calculating them based off a poly mailer or a small box. I cannot remember exactly, but this is where I'm saying that you have to go in and make sure that you have your packages set. You can either add them now or you can add them when you're about to start shipping, and you can go ahead and do that while you're creating your shipping label. You can add packages, but I would recommend adding them ahead of time so you already know and you don't have to type in everything manually as you're adding boxes or different mailers to your site here, to your packages. So I have it set for a craft box. Regardless if it's keychains or whatever, it's still going to charge them accordingly, even though I go ahead and use a smaller bubble mailer. This is just to ensure that if you have any cup orders or anything that would be bigger, the customers are getting charged accordingly. And unfortunately, I have already spoken to Shopify. At the time, you can only choose to have one. So I would say don't go super big, as in like maybe a 10x8x6 box. Because as you see, it does weigh 6.2 ounces versus this one weighs 2.9. I would just say go for a medium size in between package. That way your customers are getting charged correctly. There will be times that if you haven't fixed this, the customer would be getting charged less, or you would be having stuck to pay the difference. So just make sure, always double check this on here. Alright, since you guys basically got the gist on how I created my website and everything, I'm going to go ahead and jump into some questions I asked on my Instagram the other day. And I basically just told you guys to ask me any business related questions because I was going to answer them in a video. So here we go. The first one is, when is the restock? So basically, I've been getting this question asked a lot. I've told you guys several times here and there, just different occasions, either on my live on TikTok or on my Instagram, saying that I will totally restock as much as I can next week. I also plan to have a beginning of the year sale. I wish I could have done it this first week of January, but since I've been busy, it's gonna have to be postponed until next week. I will restock all my cups, I will restock all my keychains, and I will also offer a discount. The next question is, do you get mad when you fail? Honestly, yes, I do get frustrated with myself, but you have to sit there and think, everything happens when you fail at something, either making something or your launch or your product didn't come out as planned. You just have to keep retrying until you get it right. And or if it's like your launch did not go as well, just think about other launches will go better and just try to see what you can improve on for your next launch. Okay, so somebody asked me, what is your schedule look like? My schedule right now is all over the place, I'm not gonna lie. This week I've been doing good about getting up between, I'm not gonna lie, I said between 7 to 9. So for example, yesterday I woke up at 7, today I woke up at 9. My New Year's resolution is obviously to get up earlier and just work basically what they would say a 9 to 5. That way I have my afternoons off for me and my husband and just make dinner and be able to spend time without working because too much work will get you, let me tell you. So you do need space to breathe. So my schedule mainly looks like I wake up, I automatically start working. I go to my craft room. If I have to print off invoices, I do that. If I have to go ahead and start working on cups, cutting anything out, like whatever the case is, whatever I have planned for that day, I just go ahead and do it. Okay, so as you guys see right here, I have basically just a day-to-day of what I do some days. So if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, please follow me on my TikTok. I try to keep you guys entertained as much as I can, so feel free to follow me there. Okay, the next question is, what's the process to registering a business? I have a video on this. It's my last video actually on how I registered my business. So if any of you guys are ever wondering on the process, go ahead and check out the video. And if it's something that I didn't answer or didn't touch topic on, please comment down below on that video. I will respond and get back to you, or feel free to message me on my Instagram or email me, whatever works best. And the last question that I have, it says, would you have a store to shop one day? Yes, my plans are, and hopefully this year, I'm manifesting to be able to open up my own shop. Even if it's not a storefront yet, it eventually will get to that point. But I want to get to the point where at least I'm able to have my own little office where I can work from, and then come back home, and work is work, home is home. That is my thing, and I'm hoping that I can do that this year. Alright you guys, so this is what I have for you guys today. I wanted to quickly mention the shirt that I have on is Somos el Futuro. That is a new style shirt that I brought out to my website. I so far have it listed, as you guys can see here, in green. I had my nephew model it for me, but it will be also available in a light pink like this. It looks super bright right now because of the actual ring lights, but I will try to see if I can either come up with more colors. But I really like the meaning behind this. It means we are the future, take it as you want. I just love this saying in general, so yeah, I thought I would make a t-shirt about it. Or if there's any other products that you guys are interested in, go ahead and check my description down below. My website's there, you guys can shop, go check it out. And when I do have discount codes, I always like to announce them either through my TikTok or my Instagram account. So also make sure you guys are following me on my platform as well as my personal, because I'm starting to post and be more consistent on there as well. If you guys have any other questions, just go ahead and drop them down below, and I would be happy to answer for you guys. Thank you guys for joining me today. Bye.